We go at it till about 4 or 5 o'clock. Warfare, got my gear, I'm prepared for the op. And we talking how we walk it, yeah, that's just how we rock. Friday night, gotta rest, in the morning, hit the block. Shake them down, we go at it till about 4 or 5 o'clock. Warfare, got my gear, I'm prepared for the op. And we talking how we walk it, yeah, that's just how we rock. Hey, I'm a workaholic, boy, don't play with me. Hey, no breaks, do this till the death of me. I'm with Elohim, careful what you say to me. Better watch your talk. We been the chosen ones, I heard you claim to be. Yeah. What do you got, hey, what do you got? What do you got, cause talk is cheap. What do you got, you see me say? Yeah, we got that remedy. What do you got, hey, what do you got? Heard you got that kill for me. What do you got, cause I need help? What do you got, cause talk is cheap? So I dedicate to do this every week. Yeah, we not moving corners, so they thinking that we weak. Yeah. Never get it twisted, ayy, don't sleep. We the sanctified, we pull up to your hood to clean the sheet. Yeah, and I'm blessed. Wolfie on the crest, yeah. All I do is raving, praying for the rest. To the east, from the west, on a quest, never rest. About that work, dog, about it, I'm obsessed, yeah. Sabbath morning, rise and shine, hit the block, make it hot, shake them down. We go at it till about 4 or 5 o'clock. Warfare, got my gear, I'm prepared for the op. And we talking how we walk it, yeah, that's just how we rock. Friday night, gotta rest, in the morning, hit the block, shake them down. We go at it till about 4 or 5 o'clock. Warfare, got my gear, I'm prepared for the op. And we talking how we walk it, yeah, that's just how we rock.
Hit the block, make it hot, they be shocked, that's a wop. Watch a doctor, head chop, body drop. Get the mop, this a jam, this a bop. For the flock, top of top, how much love, that's a lot. On the quest, not a yacht, got a Glock, it don't pop, that's a prop. Nigga stop, ain't no fear in the mirror, check your spirit watch. We just pick a corner, we any money on. From here to California, we pull up and it's a corner. Kamikaze sliding like conveyor bells. If you try to play the prophet, you gon' play yourself. Saturday to day, we on the way with hell. Big soldier, we take orders like okay, what else? Check the stats, all facts, never cap. We be everywhere we at, on the map, in the trap. Me and Ja, back to back, boots black, script strap. This is with that, this and that. Friday night, take a nap. We wake up, it's a wrap.
Sabbath morning, rise and shine, hit the block, make it hot, shake them down. We go at it till about 4 or 5 o'clock. Warfare, got my gear, I'm prepared for the op. And we talking how we walk it, yeah, that's just how we rock. Friday night, gotta rest, in the morning, hit the block, shake them down. We go at it till about 4 or 5 o'clock. Warfare, got my gear, I'm prepared for the op. And we talking how we walk it, yeah, that's just how we rock. Sabbath morning, rise and shine, hit the block, make it hot, shake them down. We go at it till about 4 or 5 o'clock. Warfare, got my gear, I'm prepared for the op. And we talking how we walk it, yeah, that's just how we rock. Friday night, gotta rest, in the morning, hit the block, shake them down. We go at it till about 4 or 5 o'clock. Warfare, got my gear, I'm prepared for the op. And we talking how we walk it, yeah, that's just how we rock.
You're listening to In the Scripts Reloaded.
Yeah. Oh, I think you gon' reprobate. Oh man, I think you gon' reprobate. Oh man, think you gon' reprobate. Oh man, yeah, you gon' reprobate. Oh man, you the same one that says they'll never hate. Now you tryna leave, you tryna separate, you gon' reprobate. Oh man, I think you gon' reprobate. Oh, why are you so deceitful? You're trying to trip up the people. You can't control your ways, but you complain all the day long. You're doing things not convenient. I pull a script, I can tell. There is no knowledge within you. Oh, I think you gon' reprobate. Oh man, I think you gon' reprobate. Oh man, think you gon' reprobate. reprobate. Oh man, I think you going reprobate.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah. Before every enterprise we sought counsel. And the way you acting now, it's not like it. See, I'd rather leave than to start fighting. Unequally yoked is what the words say. Railing for railing, that's not my foreplay. Stay together, do what the songs say. Bonnie ain't collide with Clyde, now we in the hallways. We all make mistakes, but don't give excuse to do it. We all in the race and everyone's a winner. But staying with a reprobate mind will keep you off track. And you don't wanna backslide.
Oh man, I think you gon' reprobate. Oh man, I think you gon' reprobate. Oh man, yeah, you gon' reprobate. Oh man, you the same one that says don't never hate. Now you tryna leave, you tryna separate, you gon' reprobate. Oh man, I think you gon' reprobate.
In the truth, you had zeal like a spark, but when the trials came, you straight departed. Temptation gonna come and yours did, but you tossed to and fro with all evil like a little kid. Check it out, you called the deacons telling lies. Mad cause they chose the truth. Praying to the Lord flies. Sitting sweet, guess you got a sweet tooth. The most are knocking down your demons, putting chains on your door like your Morgan Freeman. Your sisters and your brothers, you do not esteem them. Oh yeah, you going reprobate.
You don't wanna take it there, huh? Causing contradiction in your mind, huh? No, you don't wanna take it there. Take it there. You're a false alarm. You're going off, but you're not being warned. And slowly you fall apart. Fall apart. Fall apart. Oh, I think you're going reprobate.
Yeah. Dream team.
Dream team.
Benjabites in out the area. Okay. 100 to my last day. Before I hit the streets, always gotta pray. Run up to the spot, on the block, put the work non-stop. Make it hot all day, let it spray. Might be a one-way trip. Yeah. Me and my brothers at the strip. Warfare. Strapped up, came up out the whip. Then we marched to the spot, on the block, let it rip, let it rip. No fear, dog, get a grip, get a grip. Might be a one-way trip. Yeah. Strapped up, came up out the whip. Then we marched to the spot, on the block, let it rip, let it rip.
I don't need a mic, I need a reader. Deek the block leader. We gon' put it down, no line, no need to. Shout out to the teachers. 2-man can't bring an Easter. Call it what you want. You gon' feel the heat out of Peter. If a heretic approach, we gon' beat him. Let's fall in line. Chairs turn the heat up on the meter. Think it's nothing, you ain't running from the reaper. Your mama ain't either. Or Big Bone Sheila. Running behind a woman, he gon' turn your ass to cedar. Bang, bang with it, if you need it, we gon' feed you. Ain't nothing to get instructions from the leaders. Ready for a change? Bring it to the people. Brothers standing bold, purple gold with no equals. Hold the damn line, that's a sign of a Hebrew. Ain't worried about his life, ready to die for this kingdom. Believe him.
Might be a one-way trip. Yeah. Me and my brothers at the strip. Warfare. Strapped up, came up out the whip. Then we marched to the spot, on the block, let it rip, let it rip. No fear, dog, get a grip, get a grip. Might be a one-way trip. Yeah. Strapped up, came up out the whip. Then we marched to the spot, on the block, let it rip, let it rip. I miss a day, then I probably feel away. Rollin' with the pack, so you know we on the way. Face like rocks and the squad never play. And we got the block in a chokehold for the day. City gon' flood, cause we comin' with the wave. Shout out to the elders for the way y'all paid. Double honors for the hard work getting gave. Always kept it real from the start to the grave. NY, Detroit, shout out to the A. Game plan, then we run a blitz where you stay. Worldwide, never really think small ways. King for the sheep, and you dogs gotta pay. Elohim said he got something for the rats. Loyal to the cause, and I can't stand a rat. Benjavice going hard, yeah, we push it to the max. In a spiritual bank, we be laying up stacks. Might be a one-way trip. Me and my brothers at the strip. Warfare. Strapped up, came up out the whip. Then we marched to the spot, on the block, let it rip, let it rip. there, dog, get a grip, get a grip. Might be a one-way trip. Yeah, strapped up, came up out the whip, then we marched to the spot on the block, let it rip.
Defender of the faith, man, anything goes. Kiss my daughter and my son, tell them kingdom is the goal. No more sorrow, city make out a goal. Timeless is the truth, even though we grow old. Man, I risk everything just to save one soul. My treasure in a heaven, beer, silver and gold. This are the dream team, I saw we big and we bold. Straight to the end, and you know we not fall.
You're listening to In the Scripts. Reloaded.
Yeah. Bless his head. Bless his head. Bless his head. Yeah. See, I've been going through some things you don't know. Been holding too long, I can't hold it no more. The old man wants to kill me, but he don't know that I've been dying daily, so we gon' fall. Even if I do fall, I don't stay too long. I may go fast to pray and add on one thing. 2 chapters every day, Genesis to Revelation, gonna read, hold your pace. I can say things written in the past before today. Oh, when I be all up in them scripts, you know, them demons can't get in addition, no. Revelation 1 and 3, no. Blessed is he I read. When I be going through some things, you know I read. When I be going through my trials, you know I read. Deuteronomy be killing me, I read. Blessed is he, blessed is he I read. When I be going through some things, you know I read. When I be going through my trials, you know I read. Deuteronomy be killing me, I read. Blessed is he, blessed is he. I've been reading to learn, you know, how the devil use those that don't know themselves. Or how the Most High God knows those that will be the pure gold, standing in the end. Or how we will rise if we die in the ride. The dead that's in Christ will meet us in the sky. Gotta read from 9 to 5, the devil hide in the grass like a roaring lion. Hold that, James 1:25. Don't forget the when I read and gotta hold inside. Whoa. When I be all up in them scripts, you know, them demons can't get in addition, no. Revelation 1 and 3, no. Yeah. Blessed is he I read. When I be going through some things, you know I read. When I be going through my trials, you know I read. Deuteronomy be killing me, I read. Blessed is he, blessed is he I read. When I be going through some things, you know I read. When I be going through my trials, you know I read. Deuteronomy be killing me, I read. Blessed is he, blessed is he. Blessed is he, blessed is he. Blessed is he that, blessed is he that, blessed is he that, blessed is he that, blessed is he I read. When I be going through some things, you know I read. When I be going through my trials, you know I read. Deuteronomy be killing me, I read. Blessed is he, blessed is he I read. When I be going through some things, you know I read. When I be going through my trials, you know I read. Deuteronomy be killing me, I read. Blessed is he, blessed is he.
You're listening
Blessed is he that reads
In the Scripts.
everything he sees.
Reloaded.
Get eternal life. Yeah.
Look at Israel, they lost their mind. Stricken with madness, oh my God. They don't know that they have a way. But few are chosen, few are saved. Cause they don't believe. Wisdom in Christ, it's out in the street. My people are dying, I guess they're in need. Humble my spirit so I can go teach. Yeah. And I won't even do it my way. Open up the book and I'ma do it Yahweh. My people hear me, but they always looking sideways. But the prophets on the highways and byways.
And these laws, they'll never end. Young prophet, trying to be a veteran. And these laws just keep getting better and making me better and better and better. It can change you like a dollar bill in a register. We became niggas when we came to America, but the Bible gon' change all that. All the sin in this world, I refrain from that. You know, I tell them like, my family thinks I'm crazy. They think I'm in a cult. I'm just reading the Bible. They think I'm delusional. They say no one is perfect. I'm about to prove them wrong. I'm changing bodies laws. I'm sorry, it's not my fault. There's nothing they can do to make me leave this truth. Cut my whole family loose. My family is in this truth. There's nothing they can do to make me leave this truth. Cut my
my family's in this true. Wicked brother, who are you? Wicked kid, you better move. If you on my team, I lose. The alarm is sounding on, but you keep hitting the snooze. My family a guy, yeah, that's so easy to choose. They said we in the coat, better fall back. Ain't no key to the kill, I ain't all that. If you saying I'm wrong, then what a proof at? Full of strips to the fin against all attacks. Feel it fall, you can leap and get cut, man. The Bible knock him out the park, one punch, man. Hungry for the Lord, commandments be my lunch, man. Without the word of God, you can't stand, man. Why you bringing up that garbage to me? Teaching me that slavery, yeah. Love me, my clothes, you can't see me. Rooted in the word with no tree. What I'm in the word, I'm in that deep sea. Change from the old to the new me. Healers be the one that sold me. My family thinks I'm crazy. They think I'm in a cult. I'm just reading the Bible. They think I'm delusional. They say no one is perfect. I'm about to prove them wrong. I'm changing bodies lost. I'm sorry, it's not my fault. There's nothing they can do to make me leave this truth. Cut my whole family loose. My family is in this truth. There's nothing they can do to make me leave this truth. Cut my whole family loose. My family is in this truth. Cut my whole family off. It's been long coming, but God has given me the strength. A new family that I can always lean on whenever I'm in need. God is blessed me with a new family.
Check it. Ever since I've been growing, yo, I've known my family love to get real cold. No more support, nobody kept on my soul. Never taught me real lessons on how to reach any goal.
Shoot! Shoot! My people on the war. My people on the war. We bringing out the fire. We bringing out the fire. Those heathens we ignore. Those heathens we ignore. Cause we know that they're liars. Cause we know that they're liars. I'm reading in them. I'm reading in them. We reading in them. We reading in them. They reading in them. They reading in them.
Shalom, brothers. Shalom, sisters. Most High in Christ bless us. Officer Lemuel. Y'all are tuning in the scripts. Reloaded. All praise to the Most High. Who I got on my right?
Officer Yakub.
Who I got on my left?
Officer Shema.
All praise to the Most High. So we late. It is, it is what it is.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Took me about an hour and 20. Every accident on every freeway I touch getting there. It normally take me like, 55 minutes or so to get here, but it was extra 25 just for no reason, just because people like to stop and look at
the accident
going on the other side of the freeway. So
Rubbernecking.
I be doing it too. So whatever.
Hey, I got it. With rubbernecking. Did you know that that's a Texas term?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the term rubbernecking is actually a Texas jargon. So outside of Texas, well, now that Texas moves around, other people know it, kind of like Juneteenth.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, rubbernecking is actually our term from this state.
What a great fun fact, officer.
Great fact. Hey, I get those facts like the tops on a Snapple. I be giving them Snapple facts.
All praise to the Most High. See, y'all come in the scripture, y'all be learning stuff. See?
Right, exactly.
All right, officer, what we got today, man?
Today we are dealing with vain judgments and a spoiled nation. Vain judgments. Hey, before we get, can we pull up that word vain? Because whenever we use it, it's used in the Bible a lot, but people don't even really know what vain means. Like the call you said we're gonna get today, we don't really know what an attorney general is. So,
Right.
yeah.
It's a lot of words we don't be knowing. We
Right.
just be saying them. We just be saying them because they be sounding good.
True.
But when you come in the scripts, guess what? We're gonna educate you.
We're gonna educate you. Right.
That's right.
So the word vain. If we go with the second definition, it is producing no result or useless. So for the title of the show, this is Useless Judgments and a Spoiled Nation, meaning the nation of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have been spoiled. How we've been destroyed through philosophies, doctrines, assimilation, just through everything that we've been through here in Babylon. And what we're gonna start off with, man, is we're gonna start off with a video that actually comes from the new IUIC, IUIC documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
And every week they put out one, possibly two little short clips, no longer than 5 minutes of a particular topic. So we're gonna start off with that today.
Hey, hold on. Why do the title on YouTube say Cain Judgments?
It's a Cain judgment.
I'm looking at it right here. That's what they saying on YouTube. I'm looking at it.
Wow.
Cain Judgments and the Spoiled Nation.
Hey, you know what? That's our great AV team. We love these guys, man.
All right.
They keep us laughing.
So while we play this video, y'all gonna fix that on YouTube.
Right on.
Let that play. IUIC reports, that's what it's called. All praises. So if y'all,
praises.
as a matter of fact, y'all should subscribe to that channel, man. Every week there's something coming out. But as you saw in that, it spoke about the injustice that happened with Breonna Taylor. It listed some of the older and more recent cases that have happened of injustices against our people. And it showed that even with voting and having a candidate who looked like us, that justice still is not going to be served because the system was never set up for us. Yeah.
And they show you that time and again.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, 1/3 of Israel gonna get a clue. And 144,000 gonna get a clue.
Right.
Everybody else, y'all gonna be stuck in la la land.
Right. Already there, right? Like, there's a video we're gonna get to. Oh my, where the brother said he was woke. I said, oh.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
We'll get to it. But yeah, that
Right. I said, whoa.
I just happened to stumble across that one. I was like, what?
That was a good one.
What's going
Yeah.
on?
All right, so this is the video, and every time there's a big case like this, they have speakers outside of the courthouse, and they'll play the verdict, you know, because people want to hear it. They can't get inside. So let's watch the crowd reaction when the verdict was announced to Breonna Taylor's to the judgment for the case. Let it play.
Bond in the amount of $15,000 for cash and issue a warrant. That concludes the business of the grand jury sitting for Jefferson County in September 2020. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be excused.
Is that the only charge? Fuck it up. That's what I'm saying.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. You can't be serious. Hold on, this ain't no way in here. That's not it.
And look at our people, though.
We don't get no murder charges?
That wasn't even murder. Wanton endangerment?
Wanton endangerment. That was blatant murder.
So can I steal and they say I just borrowed against
118 days for this shit?
It can't be.
So everybody there is no reaction, or the reaction is so shocking to them, like they didn't just see this with George Floyd.
Right.
Like they didn't just see this with Ahmaud Arbery. Like they didn't just see this here in Dallas
with Amber Geiger.
Amber Geiger, right, and Botham John.
Yep.
Like we're not seeing this over and over and over again.
Exactly. Trayvon Martin.
Right.
Tatiana Jefferson.
Yeah, right. Constantly. And everybody's standing there like they in shock, like, so there's no murder charge? No, there ain't no murder.
No. And the thing is, even if there was, the system, even on the other side, you still looking at what's the chick name? I just said it. Here in Dallas. Amber Geiger and
Botham John.
Even with that, even if you do get a murder sentence or whatever, the law is still going to be slated to where, okay, they may only do a handful of years.
Right.
Then after a finger of that handful of years, so now you're down to maybe 1 year and some change.
Exactly.
Then you go up for either parole or what's the other deal? Appeal or whatever the case. So where are you looking to win at?
Right. Speaking of appeal, Officer Amber Geiger set for her appeal right now.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, what are you looking to win?
Right.
At what point in the system do you feel like, okay, we're gonna get some justice? Let's say he the dude does any of the three, do go to prison. 50 years, 100 years. There's going to be another Breonna Taylor. There's going to be another Trayvon Martin. There's going to be another, because us being here in America was not to be a vacation for the children of Israel.
Right.
We were sent here as a punishment and as a judgment, like any loving father would do.
Right.
If your children are disobedient, you punish your kids. And if you go without punishment, the scripture says in Hebrews, you're a bastard.
Right.
You're not a son.
Right. Absolutely. And so that's actually Baruch chapter 4, right?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah. Let me bring it out for you. Or you bring it, let me read it for you.
Yeah.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but
so God didn't send us over here to America not to destroy us as a nation. Yes, there are going to be certain of us that are judged here by way of death. Your Breonna Taylors, your Trayvon Martins. But guess what? As a nation of people, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, as a nation or as a race, because that may be easier terms for some people.
Right.
As a race, God didn't send us here to destroy us all together. Go ahead.
But because ye moved God to wrath.
But because we pissed our Father off. Go ahead.
Ye were delivered unto the enemies.
God said you would deliver to your friends.
The enemies.
God said you would deliver to your buddies.
The enemies.
What about your poker pals?
Enemies.
What about your bar buddies?
Enemies.
God said you would deliver to your enemies. God said he sent his children into captivity into the land of their enemies.
That's right.
Not for vacation, not so we can live high off the hog and have everything on our own. Because you got some people that are saying we gotta just build our own cities and towns.
Right.
Last time we did that, last time I checked, they got bombed.
Yep.
Right.
So, and even in that, remember, because I'm going back. Remember, in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia bombing. They had a black mayor.
Black mayor at the
that
time. Right. Same thing. Right.
So what we doing?
Right.
Everything points back to the scriptures.
That's
All of our affliction, all of our persecution, all the judgment, it all points back to the Bible.
Right. Right.
I'm gonna sit back.
Yes, sir.
No, it's a great point. Some great points.
Yeah, excellent points.
A lot of bombs being dropped. A lot of bombs.
Did we finish that rule?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that was the end of it. All right, let's go into the next article. And this is so the show again, we focusing a little bit on the Breonna Taylor case. And a little bit, dealing with the legal fallout behind it, the legal letdown, I guess you could say, behind it.
Legal letdown.
Officer charged in Breonna Taylor case, but not for her death. So this officer was not actually charged for her death. And there's a piece that I'll pull up here in a second. Let's click on that video that's there. Yeah, let's play that video.
In the matter of Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Brett Hankison, the Jefferson County Grand Jury charges as follows. Count 1, wanton endangerment in the first degree. On or about March 13th, 2020 in Jefferson County, Kentucky, the above named defendant, Brett Hankison, committed the offense of wanton endangerment in the first degree when, under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to human life, he wantonly shot a gun, into the apartment occupied by initials CE.
According to Kentucky law, the use of force by Mattingly and Cosgrove was justified to protect themselves. This justification bars us from pursuing criminal charges in Miss Breonna Taylor's death.
We're very disappointed in the announcement made today. Essentially, the judgment that was released states that black people are the only people in this country who are blamed for their own unjust killing by law enforcement. The announcement essentially is just partial justice, and certainly Breonna Taylor deserves full justice, so we are not satisfied by the announcement made today. We're going to continue to fight for justice and take this fight right to the Attorney General's office because the FBI still has the investigation open, and hopefully we'll get the justice from the FBI that we did not get from the state of Kentucky.
Hey, pause real quick because notice something. Go back just a little bit because there was something I wanted. Go back a few seconds, right there. Pause right there. Pause. All right. I don't know if y'all noticed, but the day before this, the verdict was read and was brought forth, they had already began blocking off streets,
right. Yep.
Shutting down businesses, and putting wood on the windows of those businesses. Why?
Because they already knew what Daniel Cameron was going to do.
They already knew.
Bruh.
They already knew. And it's so bugged out that that our people are still screaming, we didn't get the justice that we want. She deserves full, and all of that's true. She deserves full justice. But bruh, at what point are y'all gonna do anything different than what we've been doing since the 1950s?
Nothing. But again, even if you do get justice for the sister, right? Just this one case.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to change systematically that stops another Breonna Taylor?
Right.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Until we repent as a nation, and until we remember what it says in Matthew 5 about agreeing with, we just paraphrase, about agreeing with your adversaries quickly.
Matthew 5 and 25.
Matthew 5 and 25. You know, basic laws like that, at bare minimum, reduce the number of incidents like this that happen.
Right.
But apart from the laws of God, this stuff gonna keep happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Get justice for Breonna Taylor. 10 more gonna pop up. We're gonna have 10 stories by next week, by next month, by next year, dealing with the same thing.
Right. Right. 2 Chronicles 7 and 14 says exactly what you're saying. The problem is they don't believe that the Old Testament is worth reading.
Nope.
We in the New Testament. We're not under the Old Testament. Okay. 2 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. There's a very plain discussion and ultimatum given by he's telling us, look, turn back to me. First, humble yourselves. Come down off your high horse a little bit, thinking black power, thinking blackonomics. He said, let go of all of that. Humble yourselves. Come and talk to me and tell me that you know that you did what you did was wrong. And then I'll listen to what you're saying and I'll turn it away from you.
You should be reading your Bible. Reading your Bible 3 times a day.
Is that new?
Right.
Yeah. I like what they said on YouTube. On YouTube. So one brother, what is that? Vibe Walker. Excuse me. Stop supporting their system.
There you go.
Stop spending our dollars with them. Keep them. We in the holiday season right now.
Right.
So you're gonna have a lot of our people out there in Halloween costumes. They gonna be in these superhero costumes.
Right.
They gonna be going to the fall trunk or treat at the church.
Yep.
They gonna be going to the fall
Trunk or treat.
festival. the pumpkin pick patch parade
right.
at the church or whatever the hell they be calling it.
All that.
Y'all gonna be celebrating Thanksgiving next month. Next month, the month after that, whatever. Y'all gonna be at Christmas dinner.
Right.
Come December 25th.
Come
y'all
on
gonna be
now,
at the New Year's Eve party.
Right.
Come on,
So
man.
until you come out of her, matter of fact, Revelation 18.
Bring it out.
Until you come out of her fully, I don't know what you talking out of both sides of your neck.
Right.
You want justice from the system, yet with your right hand, but on the left hand, you support the same system that keeps you as a slave.
Right.
Revelation 18 and 4.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plague.
It says, come out of her, my people. All the philosophies, all of the religions, all of their holidays, all that stuff. Come out of all of it.
Right.
Because you cannot say I want justice from that system,
Right.
but then support that system on the other hand.
Bring it out.
You can't do it.
Right. Right.
Man.
And it's funny. Well, go ahead with the video. So they announced that Louisville would be under curfew Wednesday night from 9 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. The case has become a flashpoint in the national cause against police violence and racial disparities. Taylor was killed in March after plainclothes officers broke through her door at 12:40 a.m. to execute a no-knock warrant in search of narcotics. The 26-year-old emergency room technician was asleep when police entered her apartment, prompting her boyfriend to fire shots at what he believed to be burglars. The police fired more than 20 rounds into the apartment, hitting Taylor multiple times and killing her on sight. Police later did not find any drugs in the apartment and the suspect had already been taken into police custody at another residence. Taylor's death has prompted protests around the country with calls to...
Shalom, caller, what's your name, question, or comment? Did they drop? Shalom, caller, what's your name, question, or comment? They can't hear us? Okay.
We got some technical difficulties. Okay. Hey, caller, if you're still listening, call back in. Try again. We're having some difficulties. All right. So we see that. So let's go out of that. Let's go out of that. Because some of the things that's happening behind this is, let's go to the next one. Because they are doing searches into this thing, right? That they were saying that the FBI still has an open investigation, and there's been some new things filed against the Attorney General's office, I believe. But there's a lot of things in the works because they're saying that that this whole thing just didn't happen right.
Yeah. I think it's a person on a jury trial. They filed a motion to get the transcript.
Yes, to get the transcript.
Hot off the press, yep.
Hot off the, and that'd be great, so we can see what went on inside those closed doors.
And we've got a copy of it. We probably won't have time to open it up tonight, but I have the PDF copy of the proceedings. Ballistics don't support Attorney General Cameron's claim Breonna Taylor's boyfriend shot officer. So they're saying that let's watch the video. They're saying that it doesn't even look like his gun was actually the gun that shot the officer. That's something that was just put out there. The fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor by a police officer and the grand jury's decision not to pursue murder. I can't see that bottom line, yeah. It's time to move forward with the criminal charges because she deserves that and much more. They failed you. They failed me. Breonna, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do.
Hey, Shalom, caller, what's your name, question, or comment?
I'm sorry?
Shalom, caller, what's your name? What's your name, question, or comment?
Shalom, Makai Christ bless.
Hey, Mosiah Christ bless.
My name is Jael Israel.
Shalom,
and I
sis.
just had a comment. Yes, sir. I just had a comment. So the family of Breonna Taylor, they received a settlement before the verdict was even issued.
Yep, $12 million. And then that's going to get taxed, so it ain't even really $12 million.
True.
Yeah, they settled that pretty quickly. So that probably had a part to play in the verdict being passed down, suffice the family monetarily, and then pass the verdict.
Oh, yeah, I can almost guarantee it. I can almost guarantee that had a part to play in everything. And I know we probably getting 25% of the full story of what's going on and what's being talked about behind the scenes. We getting 25%, and we just trying to put the pieces together like we always got to do.
Right.
And I think, they're just going to start paying families off. The ones they injure, they're just going to pay them off.
Yeah, just pay them off a little.
Not guilty.
Yep. Little hush money. And all right, y'all got y'all $12 million. Go away now. Bye-bye.
All right.
And then they're not able to talk about it. They probably won't. They probably signed off on that too. They probably signed off that they won't talk about it. They won't incite any violence behind this. And so, we haven't heard from the family since the settlement.
Yeah, I don't know that. Have they said anything since, or at least since the verdict came out?
I haven't heard.
Or not verdict, charges, whatever the legal word is.
Right.
I don't think so. I haven't seen nothing. I haven't seen them say nothing. Yeah, so you're right. You're 100% right.
Yes, sir. Well, most high Christ bless.
All right, all
have a good night.
praises. Okay, most high Christ bless. Yep. So we got we had a special guest calling in, but he late. He late.
Judah.
He on Judah time right now.
Let's get back to the video.
Yeah, let's let the video play. The Reverend Jesse Jackson called for athletes to boycott the University of Louisville and University of Kentucky. So he stepped out. He trying to secure him some dollars.
I hate that look.
Right.
Shalom, caller. What's your name, question, or comment?
Hey, Shalom Leadership, Most High in Christ.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
All
right, y'all. So
that's the call we waiting on? I'll pray.
Yep. You go ahead and drop this.
Let me apologize first off about my tardiness.
We know you on Judah time.
And
It's all good. We get
I
it.
got caught up on listening to your show. The value of your show, I don't know if you really truly understand how far your influence it extends, but I hope that the family of Miss Taylor, I hope that they are watching this show. I hope that, those in the community are watching and paying attention, how scripturally you're able to tell us, how these facts that exist in the world today actually are explained through the Bible. So I want to thank you, brothers, you leaders who are standing up for the truth. Thank you.
All praise to the Most High. I mean, Lord's will, somebody in that community is listening and watching, like you said, and
Right.
taking heed and wanting to actually change their conditions and change the situation that our people are in by repentance, because that's the only way it's going to happen.
Right. Exactly.
All right,
Officer,
so
exactly.
we have a practicing attorney on the line. We'll just leave it at that. So we got a resident professional.
Yes.
With about how many years you got practicing?
I've got 20 years trial experience in 2 different states, both fed and state level.
Okay, so
That's a pro.
That's a pro.
Yeah.
Right. So at YouTube, y'all make sure y'all sending y'all can post y'all's questions if y'all got any questions. Reason why we had the brother call in is because we wanted to. We know we're hearing all this stuff and we hear the legal jargon and legal terms and stuff like that, but we want to kind of take a step back and kind of get a 30,000 high foot view of what we're really talking about and what the magnitude is of what came down and what came out a couple of days ago, right? So, some basic things like what's an attorney general,
Right.
With the jury situation, what is that really, what is that really saying? So we wanted to kind of take a step back, and if you can kind of walk us through just kind of some of those basic terms that we're hearing, attorney general,
indictment,
like
grand jury,
Yeah.
What
grand jury?
What that mean? That's what, in layman's terms, what that mean?
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna pass it over to you. What you got? So what's an attorney general?
Okay. Yes, attorney general in every state will be it's going to be the chief law enforcement office underneath the governor. And so these are the chief prosecutors. And when we talk about a grand jury, it's not what you see on Perry Mason or on TV, with the jury system. These folks, they're meeting in private, in secret. No one knows who they are. The only people in there are going to be the prosecution, the police officers. The defense counsel cannot be in there, nor can the accused. They can go in there, but they will not have attorney protection. And so the prosecutor is in there with the jury, and they put on evidence. The amount of evidence that's required is very low. It's a preponderance of the evidence standard. What that means is basically, is it more likely than not? In other words, you have 2 witnesses. One said that the light was yellow when the green truck ran through it. One says that it was green. So is it more likely than not? Just flip the coin. That's how much evidence it takes to get an indictment. Now, I took a look at Kentucky's Attorney General, Mr. Daniel Cameron. Young man is 34 years old. He's the 51st Attorney General of Kentucky. He took office in 2020. He's only been practicing law around 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Now, he was put, let's see, I think that he had some connection with Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell,
Right.
He's been in the Senate for a long time. Now, both are, if it matters, they're both Republican. Now, one of the things that Mr. Cameron said in his, he gave a statement when he released the opinion or the decision that came out of the grand jury. That was what, September 23rd or so. But he said that we examined and investigated all of the facts. The facts they didn't look at or consider, or the facts that he didn't tell us about, were the facts relating to Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, who was in there. And so I don't believe that they looked at all the facts. With the grand jury, you'll never get a chance to see what it is that they considered. And two of the officers, what really struck me as being different is that nothing that came out of the grand jury pertained to 26-year-old Breonna Taylor. In other words, the wanton endangerment charge, that came about because of the apartment or the people who were living in the apartment next to Miss Taylor. Looks like the police officer just started shooting his gun, bullets going inside of that apartment. Nothing to do with Miss Taylor.
Right.
The other thing, the other two police officers who are trained police officers, they said that they saw Mr. Walker shoot his gun. So they know the direction the shot was coming from. We don't know, Miss Walker, my understanding is that Miss Taylor was in the hallway. If Mr. Walker was still in the bedroom, why are they shooting in the hallway? There was no threat coming from the hallway from Miss Taylor. Miss Taylor didn't have a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we look at the law that pertains in this case under Kentucky law, you have to identify the person who's imminently using the deadly force against you. And then you're entitled to use deadly force against them. And so if you don't use deadly force, if you use deadly force against someone who is not a threat, then that's not self-defense. And so we don't know, and we'll never know if the grand jury considered it. We'll never know if they considered a murder charge at all. Do you understand?
So what you're saying here is that based on what you just said, that's enough to get an indictment with the grand jury alone, because it doesn't take. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, because it doesn't really take much to get an indictment or charge when you're in the grand jury. If the attorney general has, because he has he can be persuaded. I mean, he has the authority to persuade the jury.
Well, the attorney general is the lawmaker. He's going to be the elephant in the room, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so the employee seeks to please the employer. It would be difficult if they were to say go against the AG when the AG has an opinion in his mind that these officers did nothing. Now I've got to work with this guy every day. My career could have some problems, and I'm not saying that's what happened here. What I am saying is this right here. The Detective Mattingly, he shot 6 times. There was a detective or Sergeant Calsbro, he shot 16 times. And then that reckless detective, Hankinson, he shot 10 times. The question I would have is that did those shots go at, I think 6 of those bullets hit Miss Taylor? Was she standing in a place? Now, the police, I think that the newspaper accounts show her to be in the hallway. They do not tell us where Mr. Walker, her boyfriend, was when he shot and fired his weapon. He's not denying that he shot. And so the question is did they shoot at his direction? And if so, then they have a right to defend. But if they shot at Miss Taylor's direction, then they don't have that right. That would be considered a homicide, and I would want to see a jury look at that important question.
Right. But so
yes, sir. Go ahead.
So my question is, will we know until, because I don't know if you saw today that one of the jurors wants to release all the documentation or whatever the case is as far as the proceedings went, right? If we didn't, if he or she did not request that information, would we even know what the Attorney General presented, whether the juror was even looking at a murder charge, or were they only looking at the wanton endangerment? Like, would we even know that?
Yeah, without those documents, sir, we'll never know. And so in most cases, like in the state that I practice, Oklahoma or Texas, what you'll find is that a lot of the grand jury proceedings are not recorded. If they do have transcripts, then you can request and see if there is impeachable material in there against one of the officers who may have testified. And sir, let me point out with this wanton endangerment charge. I'm going to tell you, I don't know if anyone has discussed with you what the range of punishment is for that. But in Kentucky, it's one of the lowest felonies that they have on the books. The maximum is 5 years in prison, and the minimum is 1 year. So, I mean, really? But again, there's nothing, looking from my perspective of the media, there's nothing going toward the harm done to Miss Taylor. I think that they're looking at the harm done to the neighbors next door.
Right.
But what about the wanton endangerment toward Miss Taylor?
Right.
If there's a charge, put that wanton endangerment toward her. She had no gun. She was just there.
Right.
They had no warrant to search her or arrest her. And she shot at no one. She had no weapon. She was no threat. She was just available to die, and she did.
So attorney, so with everything that you're saying, is leading me to believe that the Attorney General should have had enough cause to bring forth charges, or to persuade the people that's in the grand jury, like, listen, this is what I suggest that we do. Because he's supposed to be for the people. He's the prosecutor. But it seems like that he was on the side of his peers, which are the judges, the police, the prosecuting attorneys. It don't seem like he was on the side of Miss Breonna Taylor and her family. That's what it sounds like to me, just by listening to what you're saying.
Yes, sir. I want to clarify that this is the chief lawmaking authority in the state, in each state. And so when we say lawmaking for the state, don't be misled by thinking that they represent, a particular person. They do not in any way represent Ms. Taylor. What they represent are the state. And who works for the state? Well, we know the police officers work for the state.
Right.
We know that the district attorney, their office, they work for the state.
Right.
We know that the investigators, and they say they have an independent investigation going. Maybe they do. Maybe we have someone who is paid by the state can be independent. If you can rely upon that. I don't rely upon it. I can't.
Right.
Because I think you're going to be loyal to whoever's paying you to put food on your table.
Oh,
Right.
Do you understand?
So
now, if they wanted to have all the facts, let me end with this, but I'm sorry, but if they wanted all the facts, why is there no account for what Miss Walker's boyfriend, Miss Taylor's boyfriend had said when they say that they had they knocked and they announced? According to CNN, inside, when they heard like Miss Taylor and Mr. Walker, they heard some noise out in the hallway, and they were like asking, who is it? Who is it? And then bang, that's his account. That wasn't considered, or if it was discounted. And so when you take all the facts, don't leave out witnesses, even though you considered them to be a suspect or something. They even charged him and later had to dismiss the charge for, I think it was assault toward a public servant or something akin to that. But this is a repeat, and we'll have more of these because we'll march and cry, and then there'll be another killing. It's unfortunate, but what you brothers say is true. So I'll be quiet. Lawyers, they love the sound of their own voice. Please cut me off. Go ahead.
No. We love it. Again, we're getting information that we wouldn't readily get, or a lot of us don't, won't look up, for the most part.
Right.
So I love it. You got a question?
No. Yeah, I didn't have a question at all.
Okay, I got a go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, officer.
Okay, question. How does an attorney general get to their position? How do you get to the position of attorney general?
Now, it's an elected. It's a political office. You're elected politically, and you know, and on most state level offices like judge, the state judges are elected. I'm not sure about Kentucky, but I think across the board, across the nation, they are elected. And generally, you'll need, you know, the associations. You'll need the commission. I say the associations. I mean the unions. The police union. The way it typically works is that the police will arrest someone. Say they have 100 arrests. They turn those arrests over to the district attorney's office. They expect to have 100 convictions in exchange for that 100 arrests. But when you have 20 convictions on 100 arrests, well, we're going to probably have our associations vote for someone who will support our cause or something akin to that. When we have tough decisions to be made, it support the blue versus the individual, because, you know, the individual is one vote. The association could be multiple votes. So it's a political position. So they're voted.
So it's not necessarily tied to any level of truth or justice in reference to these 100 convictions. It's more so tied to your political affiliation and, again, who you laying in the bed with and who can put an extra couple dollars in your pocket at the end of the day, because that's what it boils down to at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really no so if you're voting for an attorney general, it don't really matter when it comes to justice. It's not a guarantee of justice, is what it sounds like.
Well, sir, I'll say this. Now with Mr. Cameron, he did. I think he was somehow he was representing or the office that he worked for prior to taking the AG's position. That law office represented Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell is a staunch Republican. And so if you have political aspirations, you don't bite the hand that feeds you. You certainly you stay aligned with the doctrines and principles that come, you know, from that hand that's feeding you. So he is a Republican, same as Mitch McConnell, who he represented. So, but we do have Miss Taylor, 26 years of age, who, you know, she can't tell her story. There's only 4 witnesses that can tell us what happened. Well, we've heard from 3 of them. We've heard from the police, but we didn't hear from the 4th witness, or they didn't take into account her boyfriend, Mr. Walker. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's you know, it's a day-to-day process.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I wanted to make go to AV. If y'all will, there is another picture that is there above the one that you pulled up. Will y'all pull that one up? Yeah, that one right there. So on it, it says, this is Daniel J. Cameron. He is the Attorney General for the state of Kentucky, where Breonna Taylor was murdered, and he has refused to prosecute and get her family justice. This black man was voted in. So like you said, sir, he was voted in. We are told the voting system works, and I'm sure black people in Kentucky were happy that he got elected, and they would be treated fairly. This proves voting in this system, no matter the color, does not work.
Yep. That's the point.
Yeah. And you were saying that when it comes to, you know, that the Attorney General's position is a position that the public votes for, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. The credibility of the highest law enforcement office in that state rides with the Attorney General. His credibility on the one side is going to be questioned, but we're quick. I mean, our people are quick to go to sleep, and then they'll forget, and then they'll vote for him again because he has the appearance of of us, or of, he has melanin. Therefore, he must be right. Until this happens again, and then we'll march and pray and forget again, and then vote for him again. And anyway, it's a cycle. That's just my opinion.
So
I'm a defense attorney though.
So
yeah, I don't. Yeah, go ahead.
So you're a defense attorney. So understanding the cases that you probably presided in, right, or been a part of, with this case right here, could the family had a got murder or manslaughter or assault or anything besides wanted endangerment, just from the outside looking in?
Sir, I would trust the Fed. I would trust the FBI's investigation more than I would trust the state's investigation. So I would definitely be calling for an independent. This is not independent to me. I would ask for an independent investigation, and even then, I wouldn't trust it very far because these are also, they're birds of the same, same grouping.
Right.
They're police officers, and so the only justice I think would be to show me where murder was presented and show me the angles of the shooting. If the police officers knew where the line of fire was coming from, where the threat was from, and they shot 16 times or 6 times plus 16 and then plus 10 in the direction of Miss Taylor, we had at least 6 shots, 6 bullets hit her, and she was in the hallway. Why are you shooting this woman who's in the hallway when she has not shot at you?
Right.
You're trained. She's not.
Right.
And so you've got a line of fire coming from a different angle. I would like to see that evidence presented to the grand jury and then present the charges, whether it's going to be, they'd have to be some type of homicide. I don't care if it's murder or negligent homicide, but I would want to have some type of homicide charge presented and let the grand jury decide.
Right.
All right, so we got some questions from YouTube. It says, this is from who? Okay, Gabor, Ben Israel. If there was no wrong done, why would they pay her family before the verdict was even read? It should have been taken through the courts, right?
Well, look, with the civil action, a lot of times you can warm the community by showing, some empathy. And so money is to appease. We can't get Miss Taylor back, and so let's pay some money. Therefore, a lot of the community will say, well, she's already been paid. But they didn't put this, and remember, a civil action requires less evidence than a criminal action to convict. In a criminal case, you need proof of evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. With a civil action, you just need a preponderance of the evidence. We know that Miss Taylor, she died at the hands of the government. That in itself, it's why go and put that in front of a jury when the jury is going to conclude she died at the hands of the government. She didn't shoot herself. Right. And so therefore, it's good to go ahead and pay. Now, $12 million is a lot. It's a little bit more than I've seen, but it's warranted in this case. I don't find that to be unusual though.
Okay. Yes, I'm also good.
No. That was all I had. That was good questions, good answers.
All praises. So I don't see any more questions on YouTube, but we definitely appreciate you calling in. Appreciate your expertise in the field and your 20 plus years. So stay in the spirit. In Lord's will. I know we're gonna have to talk to you again because I know it's gonna be another case. So
right.
Just be on standby for us.
Right.
All praise. All praise. Well, I love you, brothers. Y'all keep doing what you're doing. We definitely need you in this community. Yeah, Most High in Christ bless you each.
Yes, sir. Most High in Christ bless.
Bless.
All right, let me read this scripture real quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 8.
Ecclesiastes 5 and 8?
Yep.
Yes, sir. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5 and verse 8. If thou seest the oppressor of the poor.
No. Read it again.
Oh, I'm sorry. If thou seest the oppression of the poor.
So God said, if you see, this is the Lord speaking through Solomon. He said, if thou seest the oppression of the poor.
And violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter.
The Lord said, don't be surprised.
Sheesh.
Don't be shaken. Don't be shook. Don't be stirred. The Lord said, don't marvel at the matter. Go ahead.
For he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they.
Guess what? God is higher than everybody on this earth.
That's right.
And he regards. He's
right.
going to pay back judgment. He's going to pay back vengeance.
That's right.
Through his son, Jesus the Christ. So listen, don't marvel at this stuff. It pisses you off and boils your blood every time you see it.
Right.
But the Lord said he regards.
That's right.
He sees it. He sees what's going on. He knows what's going on.
That's right. Hey, I want to actually, let's go away from this real quick. Go all the way to the bottom of the page because I want to show something that has not been spoken of. And ever since this whole thing happened 6 months ago, the neighbors, some of her neighbors who the bullets went through their wall actually filed a suit against the police department. That's been on since June, since the shooting happened. So Breonna Taylor's neighbors agreed to protective order in lawsuit against LMPD officers. They had to get protective orders against them because they decided to sue the police department. When you search online, they're actually suing and they're speaking out. Since the verdict happened, they're saying it's odd to us too that they didn't at least charge them for murdering our neighbor, because what we heard and what they're saying is something is totally different.
I sure hope her neighbors are Edomites, because that's the only way they probably get some
Her
justice.
neighbors are Edomites.
All praises.
They are Edomites.
There is a God.
Yes. Now, here's what's crazy. Go down in that just a little bit. Let me go to it because I want you to see something interesting in this. Louisville, Kentucky, Breonna Taylor's neighbors are suing the 3 Louisville Metro police officers who carried out the deadly raid that ended with the 26-year-old dead in March. They claim Brett Hankinson, Miles Cosgrove, and Jonathan Mattingly nearly killed them when their bullets shot into their neighboring apartment. Monday, a Jefferson County judge reviewed the complaint ahead of a motion hearing. The counsel for the plaintiffs, Brandon Lawrence, and the defense attorneys agreed to a protective order. This would stop the distribution of information about the case since the officers are also being questioned in a federal investigation. Whoever was responsible for the negligence, for the criminal behavior, for the allegations that have been laid out, Lawrence said, we'd like them to have to answer to that. According to the complaint, a pregnant mother, her partner, and son were all home when the officers carried out the raid in Taylor's apartment. When the shooting happened, it states a bullet went through Taylor's wall and into their home, flying inches from one of them in the hallway. It also lists damage from the shooting in several areas of the apartment, including the living room, dining room, kitchen, hallway, and a sliding glass door. Now, here's the part. The counts are all listed as assault, excessive force, negligence, gross negligence, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and false imprisonment. Dang. The charges they have for shooting into the neighbor's apartments are more than what went for Breonna Taylor.
That attorney general ought to be ashamed of himself, man. He ought to be ashamed of himself.
Come on now, dog.
But he not. He going home and he fine. He getting in his big king size bed.
Right.
And he good with it. I think he got a white wife, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And he good. He think he living high off the hog right now.
Right. Absolutely.
So he getting more. So they got more charges against them. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 charges.
Right. Stronger.
Wow.
The hell is against the officers for the apartment of people that didn't get shot
And they didn't die. Even if they got hit, they didn't die.
Did not die. They are Edom.
The hell is this?
So we're going to watch a battle between Edom. They ain't going to publicize that too much, though.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that ain't going to get publicized.
Because I'm looking at Wave 3 News. That ain't
right.
It's out in the open like that. That ain't on CNN like that.
Right. Exactly. All right, so let's go out of that. Because there's a reason that we're seeing this type of stuff happen. People are asking, during the time of Obama, why didn't we get anything from Obama? But Obama, you know
what also, Officer, I mean to cut you off, but
No,
we had a black attorney general at the time too.
Right.
We had a president and a black attorney. So he was the highest of the highest for persecution and law enforcement.
Right.
And we still seen Mike Browns.
Right.
Trayvon Martin.
Still seeing it. Yes. All right, so we're gonna skip this one. Go to the next one. because there is something that's been happening since the 1700s that we now have to know about. And it is called meritorious manumissions. All right. So we're going to hear something about meritorious manumissions. All right. Watch for those timestamps and let's let this play.
What's up, Melanated family? This is your boy Harrison from MelanatedFathers.com.
Turn it up just a little bit.
And Melanated Fathers TV, bringing you another episode of what I like to call History Matters, where we talk about a specific time in history. It can be about a specific person. It can be about a specific situation. But we like to revisit things that have happened to us just to give us the best frame of reference of how to move forward. Now, the situation I wanted to talk about today was actually a law that was enacted in 1710 called meritorious manumission. Now, the reason I felt it was important to touch on that topic.
Pause real quick, because I want to preface this. You remember 2 weeks ago, officer, we were watching a video and a very famous gospel rapper / whatever he is.
Talking about Kirk Franklin?
Yeah. There it is. Call it out. When Kirk Franklin said, we can't put this into law. We can't make laws for this.
Oh, you can't legislate morality.
Right. You can't legislate morality. But right here it just says in 1710, they created a law called meritorious manumission that is an immoral act against our people.
So they legislated immorality.
They legislated immorality.
Okay.
They the devils.
Interesting. Let it play.
Is because when we look at our society today and how much we as melanated people, as black people, don't trust each other, how many of us find ourselves, siding with either white supremacy or siding with something that's opposing your brother or your sister. And it's important that we understand that a lot of these mentalities have been created and manufactured over time, right? So in 1710, the Meritorious Manumission Act was enacted in Virginia. Now, it was basically the legal act of releasing slaves for good deeds as defined by the national public policy. Now, the freedom could be granted to.
So they created a law that would allow slaves to get freed for doing good acts. Right? And this is 1710 in Virginia, which is where Denmark Vesey, Virginia, Nat Turner, Virginia. So 100 years before they even happened, they put in place a law because slaves were already saying, we ain't about to be under y'all doing what y'all telling us to do. Right. And they made it a law. And this is completely about losing trust, so-called blacks losing trust in other so-called blacks in the black community. This is Willie Lynch to the 10th. At its core. Yes, at its core. Let it play.
Needs as defined by the national public policy. Now, the freedom could be granted to a slave for doing a number of things. It could be for saving the life of a slave master. It can be creating an invention a slave master could profit from, or the most commonly used, the most common way this law was used was in the form of what we would call today snitching, where a slave who decided that they wanted to be free, they would, tell or snitch on a slave that they knew was going to organize a revolt or run away. Now, it's critical that the melanated family understands.
All right. So if you did something that either jacked up a planned revolt, you could be freed. Mm-hmm. If you did something that invented something that the slave master could make money from, you could be freed. And what was the other one?
The first one, that was the second one. The first one was the revolt, freedom. I forgot.
Damn.
Got to go back and play it. Play it.
Go back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, snitch and revolt was the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
What said inventions?
Yeah, what was the first one? Go back a few seconds. Go back, what is it, 10 seconds? Yeah, that's too far. I think that's...
No, yeah, it's right.
Okay, yeah, it's right there. You're right.
They would,
Go
tell or
go back before that.
snitch on.
And this is being pointed out for a reason. This has been pointed out for a reason. Go ahead.
This law was used was in the form of what we would call today.
No, go back before this picture.
Yeah, before this picture. A little more right there.
Public policy. Now, the freedom could be granted to a slave for doing a number of things. It could be for saving the life of a slave master.
There we go.
Creating.
All right.
So today, what would meritorious manumission look like? Because we're not having to save the life of a slave master. I mean, they are, right, to an extent, but saving the life of a slave master directly, that's not really happening. Snitching, we saw that happen with the Panthers, right, inside of MLK's camp, inside of Malcolm X's camp. Anybody that's doing anything, they plant somebody inside. So we see that still today. But what would be the big thing that meritorious manumission would be for today?
I would say politics, government, and pastors.
For politics, government
and the pastors, church pastors.
Come on now,
Go ahead, officer. You want?
No. I'm following you. You want
when you think about the word meritorious, that means to earn something.
Yes.
Manumission means to release.
Yes.
So what are they releasing the pastors from? When you think of pastors like T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, before that, when they was young men, they had to work jobs, 24, 8-hour shifts.
Right.
But now when you get somebody that'll dangle a carrot over your head and say, listen, we can make you the pastor of a mega church.
Right.
We just need you to see the Bible the way we see it.
Right.
Through our eyes.
Right.
And once they see the Bible through their eyes, then they be able to control the masses.
Right.
It's like social control. Pretty much. So that's what they got going. And when you think about politics, you think about, okay, well, we'll make you, in this case, attorney general, right?
There you go.
Make you attorney general. All you got to do is see these cases the way that we see them.
Right.
The way that the real Americans see them.
Right.
Now you got your merits.
Yes.
Right? Now you're released from poverty.
Yes.
You don't have to work for your family at no coffee shop anymore.
No taxes.
You on your feet now.
Yes.
The merit now is position, status, and money, and white women.
Exactly.
Right, like that.
Cars.
Cars. Those are the merits now. It's not released from slavery as far as physical shackles.
Right.
But to your point, when you talk about social control,
Right.
You're talking about Deuteronomy 28 when he said 28:48. Help me out.
For want of all things.
Let's read it.
I want the part where it said until.
Let's read it. Bring it out.
Yes, sir. The book of Deuteronomy 28 and 48.
Yep.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness.
So various freedoms like food. Maybe you get a better plate. You get freedom. You get status. You get position. Food, water, shelter. The chief things in life. Go ahead.
Right.
And in want of all things.
How about freedom from slavery?
Right.
How about a little merit for saving a slave master?
Yes.
A little merit for coming up with an invention that boosts my race.
Right.
That financially builds up my race.
Right.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
And you'll serve your enemy until we got that social control over you. Until we have that mental control over you.
Right.
Going back to what you said about the church, till we have that spiritual
Yes.
control over you.
Come on, man.
Yes.
That's it.
So it's heavy because today's rap music is a product of meritorious manumission.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Because now it used to be rap music used to be to uplift our people.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got songs like WAP.
Right.
That's social control.
Right.
Now you have little girls walking around thinking they Cardi B, doing some of the acts that Cardi B talks about in her song.
Right.
Well, guess what? The masses that control our media or popular persuasion, that's what they want.
Right.
That's what they want.
And they
because their
reward
main objective is to keep God's children on the bottom.
That's right.
That's it. So
that's right.
A lot of ways they socially control us with stuff like that.
Yes.
And so it's negative reinforcement, positive reinforcement, stuff like that, granting you different types of record deals or bank loans or any stuff like that just to keep us down, officer. So we up against some people that got some power, but guess what? We the children of the Most High God. All we got to do is repent.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah.
So this Attorney General, in my opinion, is a product of meritorious manumission.
Absolutely.
Wow, agree. Because like the lawyer just told us, this guy's been practicing law for 10, 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's a young brother. He don't have all the experience to be no Attorney General of a whole state.
Right.
Yeah. So how does he rise that high? Hey, we'll give you the $1 million, $2 million house over here in our community. You get married to one of our women, and you get the perks at the country club.
Right.
You know, you get to be around us. You get to hear some of the trade and stock secrets. And your kids grow up okay.
Hey, you know what, officer? When they at the country club, they'll say to them, "You're not like all the rest of them."
Right.
Yep. That's how you know you earned your merit.
Yes. That is modern meritorious manumission.
That's it. And
Yes,
that's
sir.
what you see with Daniel.
Yes, sir. All right, let that second piece play.
Community. Now, it's important for you guys to understand that, establishing an invisible hierarchy based on good deeds for people without a hope or identity was pretty much a recipe for disaster. And, it's also important to note that the lingering effects of this can still be found amongst our melanated community or our black community today. The only difference is currently to receive a good deed at this day and age, it would be more or less aligning yourself with the entity or corporation that may use you to reinforce negative stereotypes or use you to demean black people in, a way or another. So if you take a close...
That is meritorious manumission today.
Wow. It's ironic that he had the picture of Candace Owens.
Right.
Because she the face of it.
Yes.
She is the very face of it.
And this guy.
This guy here is hilarious.
Hey, Jesse Lee, he, you can laugh at him, but he is definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
And they reward.
There it is. Say it again.
Amazing.
They reward. United had with the politics. United had what's the chick name that did the WAP thing?
Cardi B.
Oh, Cardi B.
Cardi B. They had her some of her merits, and I'm sure she got a check for speaking with Biden.
Right.
Yeah. Now they recruiting strippers to speak on behalf of black people.
Wow.
What is that?
Hey.
Now they got strippers getting their merits, and they speaking on behalf of black people in politics. They got what's this other chick's name?
Hey, officer, why you think of that name? Don't forget your thought.
No, I'm not.
Because I saw an advertisement that they made for our people to get out and vote, right? Guess where they did it at? In a strip club.
Yeah.
Wow.
The strippers was on the pole saying, go to the polls and vote while they was twerking.
Yeah, bro.
Right,
butt naked.
Bro. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what it's come down to.
We can't show that. We can't show that.
No, I would advise that we wouldn't show that. That's worse than the WAP.
Yeah.
That thing will put spears on you.
He said worse.
You gotta
than
look
WAP.
that up yourselves, man.
Yeah. Don't watch that. Just don't go vote. That's it. Because listen, man, listen, and I'll let you get back to your point, officer. When you think about all this stuff that's happening to us, right? The congressmen, I'm going to vote right now. The congressmen and the senates and everybody that sits in those high places, they know the black person's what we need. They know that we need money for our neighborhoods. They know we need to stop the violence in Chicago and all our inner cities. So why should we try to vote for somebody to get out and try to help that when they know what they can do to help us? If you get my point. Because every time you vote for a president or somebody, they say, well, vote for somebody that you know that's going to sponsor your cause. Right. As a black agenda. Well, they've been knowing what we've been needing for years. They are the people that put us in this position. So why you expect the people that caused this condition to help you out your condition? So you expecting them to be our defenders and avengers.
Hey!
You know what I mean?
Right.
They
own it with the sounds tonight.
Yeah, they own it. With that, I mean that's such a big point because you know how they got now. I don't know who constructed it. Maybe it was Ice Cube. Maybe it was somebody else. I forget. Where they have this black contract. Was it called a social contract?
Mm-hmm.
You see, one of the two: black contract, social contract, whatever.
Right.
Where it's a contract of everything that the black race needs and everything we missing. To your point, no other nation on this planet has to petition to another race to be able to have we talking about the chief things in life.
Right.
Equal education.
Right.
Something is clean water in our neighborhoods.
Right. Wow.
Do the Chinese have to have a Chinese contract with white folks in order to have clean water in their neighborhoods?
Nope.
Hell no.
Wow.
Nope. Yeah, I like that.
Nope.
What other nation has to have a whole contract in order to say, I am a man?
Right.
Treat me equal. Give me fair justice. Give us fair wages. Give us clean water.
Right.
Give us an equal education system. Let us die in peace.
Right.
Don't shoot our brains out, please. No other nation has to do that.
Right.
Wow.
That goes back to prove that we are a special people. We gotta be.
Right.
If nothing else, I know we ain't walking on water. I know we ain't flying high in the sky. I know we ain't turning water into wine and nothing like that. But we're dying over and above all the other nations. We're killing our own over and above all the other nations, and all of these things are recorded in a book that everybody got on their bookshelf.
Right.
That nobody picks up and reads.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me.
Maybe it's just us.
Maybe it's just us.
I'm with you.
Oh, you okay?
I'm with you.
Maybe it's just us. Huh?
I'm with you. So with that, looking at the merits, this discussion has been happening. Drop this real quick. Go out of this. Let's go to the one behind that. Go down. No. Go down. Right there. We're gonna watch just the first little short bit of this clip. Now, this clip is 50 years old. 50 years ago, American police debated George Floyd's situation on national TV. So this is from 50 years ago, and watch what's being said in it. Watch what's being said. Give me the first.
Everybody knows police brutality exists. For police officers to take our time to waste the time of an entire nation talking about they never heard of police brutality, they don't know what black people are talking about, they can't prove it. We know in Detroit, anytime a black person is brutalized by the police, he goes into court and he's arrested for assault and battery. Now the basic issue is so simple and nobody will even touch it because you're afraid to touch it. You are deliberately trying to evade the issue. Everybody is talking about
Reverend Clegg, if you can hear me.
Now, I want you to pause real quick because did y'all notice in that crowd, you saw a few Edomite faces, but for the most part, you see our people. And not only do you see the men sitting there, but you see the women with the same revolutionary spirit.
Yep.
Saying, we're riding with the men to get out of this. This is our fight. This isn't the black man's fight and the black woman, we've got our education, so we good. 50 years ago, same argument, different scene.
Hey, you know what, too, officer? Our women better wake up because these police officers are shooting our women fast just like they shooting our men fast.
We talking about Breonna Taylor now, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
It's happening.
Sisters now, they fighting brothers over hair weaves. Remember, I think that was OKC.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Oklahoma City, but Oklahoma, where the sisters was fighting a brother over boycotting hair weave.
Right. A woman got beat up.
Got your ass whooped, and then you want to sit up and the brother's telling you, yo, don't shop there, go shop somewhere else.
Right.
You ain't telling me SH.
Right.
I remember get your ass. Come on.
Oh Lord Jesus, it's a fight.
Right.
Yeah, and you look at this old video. You don't see no hair weave. I see beautiful afro.
I see afro. Right.
That pure wool.
And that blue magic hair grease.
And that blue magic hair grease. Now, they probably had that straightening comb.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They had that straightening comb. Yeah, for sure.
Let's get back to it.
Right, let a little bit more play.
Reverend Clegg, if you can hear me. The thing is that in the United States we are engaged in a power struggle between black people and white people. You don't want to say it. You don't want to hear it said. You want to talk to somebody else. You got a nut sitting there someplace who says he's a police official who hadn't said one thing all night. There is a power struggle going on, and black people have decided they're not going to tolerate oppression any longer. Now, police brutality is a very deliberate thing. It's a part of American life. America has decided that black people are to be kept in subjection. It's an army of occupation that the white power structure keeps in the black ghetto. We know. Now, don't talk about what is the incident? We know what it is.
All right, so that's enough, man. That's enough. The point is that you're seeing 50 years ago the exact same discussion happening.
But get Psalms 106 verse 42 real quick.
Yes, sir.
Psalms chapter 106 verse 42, because he said something. They keeping us under subjection.
Yes, sir.
50 years ago, right?
Yes, sir.
Nothing new under the sun.
The book of Psalms, chapter 106 and verse 42. Their enemies also oppress them.
Our enemies oppress us.
And they were brought into subjection under their hand.
And we are brought under subjection under our enemies' hands. There is no power struggle.
Right.
That's a cold
I understand what he's saying as far as there ain't no power struggle between black and white folks.
Right.
The Lord said who would have the power in these last days.
Yes.
Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Right.
So there is no power struggle. What 50 years ago up until 2020.
Right.
The so-called white man, the Lord said, I have given them the power.
Yep.
They are my sword to judge my people for their sins.
Bring it out.
And at some point, they're going to get a clue and they're going to repent.
That's right.
Or they're going to die. One or two.
That's right. So let's go back to the video that you had pulled up, because this is one of those that's enjoying meritorious manumission. 50 years later, whereas we all used to be standing together, right? The black man and the black woman, not that one, the one before this. Well, we can use this. Do this one, then we'll go to the other one. This is cool. But today, we all got to learn to stand together in one mind. Not in separate minds. We're not going to make it by not gathering together under one mind. We have to be under one mind, one counsel,
right?
One God, one law, one spirit. That's it. Let this play. This your boy.
I did it.
This my man.
To me, Trump is a freaking godsend. To me, Trump is what is life. To me, Trump is a second chance. Sorry about that if you didn't hear me. To me, Trump is a second chance. So when you say I'm like, nah, dude, he's way more than that. He's way more than that. You see, I don't have the luxury to worry about freaking Roe versus Wade. I don't have the luxury to worry about that. I'm too busy trying to keep my family fed to think about that. And for the first goddamn time in my life, I actually see a way out. I see a way out. Something I've never seen before. I see a way out, man. And just that little bit of hope is enough for me to have a fire in my belly, powerful to freaking
All right.
Please cut it.
Y'all cool. Get your mans. Get your mans, bro.
Come on now.
Oh, God. He said,
What? Is he getting paid, though? Tell me he
meritorious.
getting paid.
He gotta be.
He got to be getting a check to say some
He gotta be.
BS like that.
They promised him his second stimulus check with a little on it 2 weeks before everybody else, so he would catch it on.
God, dog. Amazing. He said Trump is his hope. Trump is a God. Can't even take that serious, bro.
Trump is his
Trump
hope.
is a godsend. Now, when you watch the other, it ain't but 2 minutes long. When you watch the other 60 seconds, he never says how, why, what Trump did to give him such a high pedestal in his brainstem. But yeah, that's what black folks is doing.
Right,
No,
right.
you are
right.
so dumb.
Hey,
you are really dumb.
with the, right. With that thought, yeah. All right. So in Sirach chapter 6, verse 8, it says to prove a friend, right? And not that he's going to meet Trump and make personal friends with him, but the fact that he's standing and speaking about Trump in the way that he is like he sees Trump as a personal friend. Right? But in verse 8, Sirach 6 and 8, it says, for some man is a friend. Nah, that's not the one. Hold on. Oh, so if thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first and be not hasty to credit him.
Mm-hmm.
So in this, the way that I'm using this in this sense is because he's talking about Trump like Trump is his personal savior.
Right.
Yet he's not looking at all of the other things that Trump has done. He's just saying since he's able to feed his family, he's willing to give Trump all the credit of being God sent and being the best thing since sliced bread to America. Like
Come
Trump
on now,
is the perfect way out of a bad situation. So that's why he's overthinking Trump and giving way too much credit to Trump without looking at the whole picture and the overall situation.
But he never says why. Like in the 2.5 minutes, he never said, what the hell did Trump do that you put him on such a high pedestal in your brainstem? I just don't.
Boy, if you don't
it ain't about Trump. Trump is come on, whatever.
Right.
Trump, Biden, I don't give a damn. Obama, whoever. But the whole video just sickened me to my damn stomach. But get Psalms 106, read verse 41, because if he understood that whether it's Trump, whether it's Biden, whether whomever it is, the Lord said this about us being in his land. So we already read verse 42 about us being in subjection under the hand. But read verse 41.
The book of Psalms, chapter 106 and verse 41. And he gave them into the hand of the heathen.
God gave the children of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, it says, into the hand of the heathen. Go ahead.
And they that hated them ruled over them.
They that loved them.
Hated them, ruled over them.
So, regardless of what heathen it is, they all hate you.
Right.
Just because they give you a job as he looked like he was moving boxes or something like that. Just because those are crumbs. Hell, if you a project manager making $100,000 a year, crumbs.
Right.
If you doing attorney general work, $500,000 a year, whatever the hell they make, crumbs.
Right.
Because you do not rule the planet Earth like the Lord made you to do in the first place.
Right.
Regardless of what it is, it's nothing but a damn crumb if it's that.
Right.
So that's why that SH just sickens the absolute hell out of me.
I mean, how do you give? I give credit to Trump for being funny. I give
funny.
Yeah, I give credit to Trump for being orange. Yeah, he has a glorious orange glow.
He got that glow.
Yeah, it's usually, pretty even tone. Like, I give him props for orange skin. I give him props for hair that I can count on to get jacked up when the wind blows.
Right.
I give Trump credit to go to another country and shoot paper towels at the people that are struggling because that's the dog that's how much of a narcissist he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I give credit to Trump for being who Trump is going to be. That's it.
That's it.
That's
Be honest.
it, yo.
He said, I like what he said on YouTube, because I saw it. Deborah Waite, one of his one of his rallies. He said, mind you, 99% of his rallies, it ain't nothing but Edomites in the crowd.
Right.
So he said, I want to give it up to the. He didn't say give it up, but whatever he said. I want to give it up to you all because everybody in the crowd, we all got good genes. He wasn't talking about no Negroes.
At all.
Not now one.
Wow.
Oh.
Not even you, Mr. Negro. And this Miss Negro right here.
Talking about Candace Owens?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, he was not talking about you when he said we got good genes.
Right.
He was talking about them. He was talking about them 2,000 white folks that was in that crowd.
Hey, what did that one say?
Ta-da. Right.
They are on it.
Yeah, buddy.
and you know what? When we talk about that meritinous, right?
Yes.
And you think about Candace Owens when you listen to her, man. She fits that description to the T.
Yes.
To the T.
Meritorious manumission. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Because at first she was a Democrat. Now she's a conservative.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Now she's getting more views on her YouTube channel. Now she has a podcast.
Right.
So now she's getting more income.
Right.
So they gave her that positive reinforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now she's able to go against her people and say negative things about us.
Right. Except for what was it? About 3 weeks ago, the RNC, the Republican National Convention.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, she swore she had that position, like she did for the last one, right?
Ah.
They snubbed
She
her.
got snubbed.
She got snubbed. They brought in the new black face to speak in her place, and it was another female.
That's about the devil. The devil, right. He'll trick you.
Yeah.
Make you think he's on your side.
Right.
That's why she need to come on home, but she ain't gonna come.
Yeah, right.
She ain't gonna come. She ain't gonna come home.
Nah, she got the other white meat at home.
Let's see what she got to say about the Breonna Taylor's case. Let's see what she got to say.
All right, everybody. Hello. Time to have one of those little chats because it seems that the Black Lives Matter narrative is getting more and more ridiculous every single day. And here we have a stunning case, Breonna Taylor, where actually every single piece of information that was provided us through the media was an absolute lie. Just an absolute lie. Actually nothing that they told us about this case was true. If you have been following this case from the beginning, we have been told that Breonna was an EMT who was living life the right way. The police officers showed up accidentally to the wrong door and shot her while she was asleep. All of it, a lie. Not even one part of it's true. Not one piece of that was true. Bruh. First and foremost, Breonna Taylor was not an EMT. She had been in the past, but she had to step away from being an EMT because a car that she had rented all the way back in 2016 was involved in a homicide that was being investigated. A homicide which involved her boyfriend, the one that was a drug dealer, her ex-boyfriend at the time that she has been killed, Jamarcus Glover. This is all about a very intricate drug ring that the police officers had been following for years in this town that Breonna Taylor was unfortunately at the center of. Now, I'm going to say a sentence that nobody is going to care about because the media, when you tell the truth, always ignores this sentence. Breonna Taylor did not deserve to die. It's common sense. She was mixed up with the wrong people. It's unfortunate that she's dead. This is one of those instances when you're growing up and your parents tell you not to hang out with the wrong people because you can end up in the wrong circumstances and you can get yourself into trouble. This is something that we learn when we're children, when you become a teenager, when your parents are trying to guide you and make sure that you don't hang out with the wrong people or fall into the wrong crowd, as we like to say. But for whatever reason,
no, listen. That's enough. Hey, you know, it's funny, man. How does she get all this information, and the grand jury haven't even released all this information?
She don't have it. She makes it up, yo.
So enable for her to have a platform, they told her, listen, we're going to set you up swell. All you have to do is go against the narrative of black people.
Right.
And we'll have a spot for you.
Right.
You always have a spot here on Fox News.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the marriage that she earned.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's what she continues to do.
Come on, man.
And it's a shame, but that's what we up against. We up against our own people first, and we have to fight the Edomites.
Right.
And she strike me like one of them chicks that, you know, in school, she like to hear herself talk, and she ain't got an SH to really say.
Right.
But as long as the words are coming out of the back of her throat, she good. And she can hear it, she good.
Right.
She don't know what the hell she's talking about or what she's saying. Now, the last part of what she said, as far as your parents, you know, the scriptures tell you about following a multitude to do evil.
Right.
Proverbs, you know, Exodus 24, I think, something like that. I'm paraphrasing. Proverbs 1, it tell you that.
Right.
So that part, okay. But everything else, I hate to hear her voice. I'm be honest.
Right. Right.
If I could go the rest of my days without hearing SH from her, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, and part of the proof before we go into this last piece is, again, nobody really knows who Candace Owens is. She's really a nobody, you know, who has a voice now because she's attached to some people, right, for an agenda. But like her YouTube page, she has 635,000 subscribers, and all of her videos are getting hits, you know, and almost 1 million. So when you look at it, her page is monetized. She's getting money to go online to do interviews, you know, to say stuff against her people. That's her merit.
Meritorious manumission.
Yeah, that's her reward. But the Most High said that those that got their reward here, yeah, don't hope for it on that other side. You got your reward here.
And she gonna be held accountable for every idle word that she speaks. Trust and believe. Christ said that. You're gonna be judged for every idle word that you speak.
Yes.
So all this SH that you getting paid for to say on YouTube and Fox and wherever the hell else you be talking, the Lord gonna judge you for that.
Right.
Trust and believe.
Right.
Lord gonna judge you for that.
Right.
Denied.
That's right.
That's it.
All right. And so before we get we winding down, we have a video from a year ago. This is part of those things of us being a destroyed nation. This sister from a year ago made a video about a case or a law that was passed in Georgia, and it wasn't actually even passed yet when she made the video. So all the details weren't out, but she made a video. Let's see what this sister.
Hey, you know what I think she's trying to do? She's trying to get that Ostrich of the Week award. That's what she's trying to do.
I think she's
Let's
a candidate.
Let's see if she can get it. She might be able to get it. Let's see.
I think she's a candidate.
Because Candace Owens she running like 3 years straight.
Right. Hey, the brother on the back of the truck though, he
yeah.
But let's see. Go ahead.
Guys, like, do you not see what's happening? Georgia's literally about to pass a bill, or they already passed the bill, where as soon as a fetus has a heartbeat and it's detected, you can't get an abortion. Do you not realize that the earliest you can detect a pregnancy is at 4 to 6 weeks, I believe? The heart starts beating by week 3. I haven't looked up the facts, but the heartbeat can be detected way earlier than you guys are realizing. Like, I don't think you guys are realizing how big of a deal this is, and like how terrifying this is for women around the world. Like, you guys don't realize that like my body anatomy is being taken from me. If I don't want a child in me, I should not have to have that child in me. And this should not be up for debate. This shouldn't be something that legislators in a House seat that don't even have a womb or ovaries should be able to decide. We have to fix this, guys. This is a really big deal. And I don't understand why we're not talking about this.
Go
All
now,
right.
get.
All right. So she can't be a hoe no more.
Right.
She can't go out and
let that-
strip and do
Yeah,
all,
let
do
that
all
play,
the-
bro. Let that play.
Lord have mercy.
He can't do it no more.
Can't do it. Let that play.
You just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Hey, but she does get the ostrich of the week, man. She get that. She get that award. You do get something. You do get something. She took it from Candace Owens.
Yeah, Officer Jonathan said she was trying to get Ostrich of the Week before we even had Ostrich of the Week.
God,
She's been trying
well,
to
she
get
got
it.
it.
Though.
She got her and them eyebrows. She
So
got
you, sister, right? Them eyebrows.
I
Oh
said
my.
it. They was thinking it.
Right. That was the right.
Them eyebrows.
Yeah.
You get if nothing else. If it was no sound, just for them eyebrows.
You get
ostrich
of the week.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she said, I mean, I don't have the facts. What do you mean you don't have the facts?
That's why that's what black folks do. No facts, all emotion. That's it. I can't be a hoe no more. Mm-mm. We gotta fix this, guys.
You mean I have to close my legs not to have a baby inside of me? That's not fair.
All right. All praise to the Most High. Well, that's it. Another show in the bag. All praise to the Most High. Y'all give me the sites.
IUIC
Dallas on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram. Go to IsraelUnite.org for more information.
Booster
OriginalRoyalty.com. You
Mm-hmm.
can get all of Israelite merchandise, posters, Bibles, Apocrypha, so on and so forth. Booster Club, IUIC.boosterclub at IsraelUnite.org if you want to donate as well. All right?
And in the scripts also, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Right. So ITSR as well. Subscribe.
That's it. All praise to the Most High.
Oh, yeah. Thank the lawyer, too, officers, bringing us that information. That was some great information. It was,
Yep,
it was enlightening.
absolutely. We got to have a expert on the show, so that's always good. All right.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Lord's will, we see y'all back here next week. Y'all are tuning in the Scripts Reloaded. Shalom.
You're listening to In the Scripts Reloaded.
Bless his head. Bless his head.